Yo, what's up? So today's video is going to be a bit different from the previous video. Um, I believe I finally got the video quality to be better. It should be significantly higher than last time. There should be a lack of choppiness. I know the first time some people were telling me in the LaTale Discord that it was laggy and choppy and what's wrong with my game, why is my game so laggy? And it wasn't the game, it's just the video recording software. I'm still getting used to it, still trying to, develop a good system around it. But for this video, I'm just gonna go over, where I'm at from where I was last week or the last time I recorded, and some things I'm looking to do. Talk about what's going on with my gloves here in terms of the awakening system for those players who don't know, and then go over some of the current events in the game. So yeah, to start off with that, I guess I'll go right into my gear. So since last time, I've gotten my earrings upgraded once. My DTR earrings, they're at imminent now, and so yeah, that's good. It took 4 attempts. That was 200 mats, and only one of the 4 attempts worked to upgrade it once. And just off of that rate alone, it's going to take forever to get these done. Some people have been telling me not to pursue these earrings or not pursue these accessories because there's a new accessory dungeon coming out, but honestly, the way I see it, it won't be here anytime soon. 4 months is a lot of time to some people, but I play every day, so for me that's kind of a drag. So I'd rather just get the upgrades that I can get while I can get them, and just try to enjoy that process for what it is, even though I hate DTR. So yeah, I've gotten my earrings up a level. I've gotten my totem to +6. It probably was only like +3 or 4 last time. Yeah, I haven't put too much energy into it right now. Not that pressing of a piece of gear, and it's unavoidable anyway, so I'll get that done over time. As you can see, these aren't my nether gloves, but I'll get to where they are in a little bit and why I'm not wearing them. And so in terms of my guns, I'm still using these cheap little guns. I probably should spend some effort or time trying to get these to at least +15 to just get some more stats out of them for what it's worth. Probably make a couple replicas of it, and before I get my RG gloves, because I'm still a ways off from actually getting enough mats to get some RG guns to +3, in which they'll be stronger than my hell guns, and I only have 4 bases anyway, so it's no rush. Solid work in progress, but that's where I am on the front end. The biggest thing is the gloves, and once again, I'll get to that a little bit later. I'm gonna skip the fashion for now, and let's look at my specials. I believe most of my specials have been upgraded from since last time. So my necklace is at Radiant, which I believe is 1 or 2 upgrades in. I don't really know. Kind of confusing considering Radiant. This is called Radiant, and then the first upgrade for the earrings was imminent. So this necklace is probably at its 2nd upgrade. Pretty sure it's at the 2nd upgrade, yeah. And then yeah, it definitely is, because my textbook is imminent, and the imminent textbook is also +1. I've gotten these statted out a little bit. They're both level 11 or 1 stat 10 on the textbook. That's cool. I'm not really pressed to get those to the best they can be. The way I see it, I should probably or what I'm looking to do is to enchant all of my gear to at least +10, and then once I upgrade it all to cap, I'm under the impression I will be strong enough to actually start tackling some of those normal dungeons. And so I think that approach is the best for my sanity right now, because if I try to just enchant everything to level 13 or whatever level above 10, it's just gonna stress me out. Just getting those mats and grinding for that Ely all over and over again, that that loop is extremely depressing and tiring, and so I'm not really that interested in that. I was able to get a McKellar sticker. I haven't enchanted it yet. I've broken one already, so that's already discouraging, and so that's going to slow me down from actually upgrading this, because I do have a couple mats. And for those who don't know, this sticker comes from the level 1900 Ascension dungeon, the new one called Hell, whatever people want to call it. Pretty sure it's pronounced How though. And then my Prince Noxus belt, I have 2 lines of level 10, level 12, plus 7. So that's some progress from last time. This is actually a dupe from last time, I believe. My last time I was recording, my belt was only plus 6 and it had no enchants on it. And so I have an enchanted Void Brooch as well, level 10, level 12. Again, definitely don't want to keep stressing out about these. These are just things I'll max out. Then I'll approach them again on normal and get some walkers or whatever to handle that situation faster. And in terms of my key's at plus 9. The current event we have going on right now with the Powder of Blessing, it allows you to upgrade keys, and it allows you to get different keys as well. And one of the ways that looks like is through key fragments, which can be gotten from decomposing keys that you get. But the main way is to use these powders and to exchange them, not for the fragment of blessing, that's another thing to talk about, but to exchange them for a broken key at the event room. And in doing that, you're able to use that broken key, I believe it takes like 10 of them, to RNG your way to getting a key like this, if you're lucky enough to get one. I don't even necessarily know if I got it through the broken key. I feel like there's some other way I got it. I believe maybe I got it this way, through the fragments. And the way I got it through the fragments was, when you get 5 fragments, you can roll for keys. And I believe this table has a higher chance of getting higher tier keys. I just want to take a guess on that, because I've never gotten a higher tier key from exchanging the broken keys directly with the powders. But I've gotten a higher tier key with the fragments, and these fragments can be gotten by dismantling or decomposing the keys you get from the broken key exchange. Yeah, so you through that process get 5 fragments, boom, and roll for a key here. And that's how I got this key a couple months ago, and it's 1 level away from being plus 10. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm very close to that. I guess I'll be there in about 2 days, and then from there this key will actually evolve into, from a second key to a actual, what is this? This is the second immortal key. So it'll evolve into an, I believe, I want to say second immortal, gonna evolve into a second ethereal. Yeah, I believe it evolves into a second ethereal, actually. Based off the way the stats look, yeah. But when it evolves, it will be weaker than the key that I have out the gate, and I'll have to actually save up a bunch of the powders ahead of time before I go ahead and evolve it, just so I don't lose those stats. And I think I could be wrong. Yeah, I might be wrong here. Actually, yeah, I think this key, second immortal Gaia key, after plus 10, it evolves into the second mythic Gaia key. Yeah, that sounds a lot better. And as you can see, those stats are significantly lower. And I'll have to get that to probably around plus 7, plus 8 before I can get it to be stronger than my current Gaia key, and where the Gaia key will be at plus 10. And then once I max out this key, I can evolve the second mythic key into the second ethereal Gaia key. Yeah, that's definitely way more accurate information. Quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's facts. I've seen it on the Discord as well somewhere. So yeah, that's the process I'm in. This probably will take 6 months to a year, but no biggie. So moving along. I've spent a lot of time on that. I have my Retes badges, rates badges, whichever the pronunciation is. I gotta look that up. Sure. And I have mats for these, but I can't currently upgrade them. This is the 1700 Ascension Dungeon. I can't upgrade them because I don't have duplicates, and I need those duplicates to safety net myself, so that if they break, I'm not just having to go back to the previous badge, which I don't have, by the way. I gave those away, and so I pretty much just have to wait until I get some duplicates before I can start enchanting these. I'm sitting here burning these EXP pots, but you know what, who cares? You know, LaTale is a game where things are always being wasted in one way or another, whether you decide not to play for a day or if you decide to do something, do one thing instead of the other. Something's always getting wasted, so you really can't even look at things like your buffs being burned as a waste. Honestly, it's just look at it as a part of life in LaTale, honestly, because it's inevitable. Something will be wasted. And so in terms of my nether badges, both of these have been enchanted. I got some decent stat rolls on these for their levels. This one is level, okay, the train's in the background. Okay, so I may need to pause a little bit on this. Okay, I think the train has stopped making noise. That should be good for us to move forward now. So these two nether badges, I had eminent versions of them, but they weren't enchanted, and I guess I tried to enchant them with side by side with the dupe, but in attempting that, yeah, that failed, and so I just ended up with these dupes that have at least level 10 stats, and there's some pretty decent stats. So I know I'm jumping around back and forth with these a lot, but they're decent stats and it's good enough. And so I'm going to go ahead and upgrade those to max once again. Once I get all these specials at max, I'll start really attempting those normal dungeons, and I think I'll be able to just get whatever I want all over again much faster anyway, so I'm not going to stress about it. And the biggest upgrade I have here is actually my 5th badge, and my 5th badge has evolved. It used to be a Sky Coliseum hard badge, but it's no longer that. It has evolved into a Vigor Minerva badge, and I have it at plus 22. So that's pretty great. The ascension level requirement is 1000, and after evolving it, I already had some of the Minerva scales saved up, and I was able to, or the Minerva horns, and I was able to upgrade it to about plus 15 or so. And right now we have a double chest event going on, and so for the double chest event, Mysterious Hall is a part of that. And since Mysterious Hall is a part of that, I'm actually taking advantage of that to see if I can get this to plus 30. And Aurora Garden is also a part of that, because this badge will evolve into the Aurora Garden badge, and I should be able to get a couple levels on that before this event is over. So that's actually my biggest piece of progress, and a lot of progress on it. And if you look closely, you can also see that I have level 20 stats on it. I've upgraded it, and it's a little bit expensive, maybe a lot of bit expensive depending on the person, to enchant this. And enchanting this, adding stats to it, it's 50 mil with a golden hammer per enchant. It's 100% success rate though, and if you want to spend more money for or less money, this is actually 10 mil per attempt at a 20% success rate, and the badge doesn't break. You can do that as well, but I definitely go with the 100% because it's guaranteed, and I'd rather spend 50 up front than take the chance of spending 100 in the end. And so yeah, I have the enchants at level 20 strength and magic, and then level 4 for HP. I just wanted some solid looking numbers. I probably have OCD or something, and so I just definitely want to get those to those points, but I'll upgrade that more in the future, or enhance that and enchant that more in the future. Whew. So why am I in Chunzik Memorial, right? What am I doing here? Why am I burning these EXP pots that honestly are starting to get a little extremely wasteful at this point? But I'm in Chunzik Memorial because I'm actually in the process of awakening the last piece of gear that I have here to talk about. Wow, I can't close out the inventory without closing out the awakening. Wow, primitive. So I'm working on my Lucent Nether Guardian gloves through the awakening system. And so for those who don't know, LaTale has an item awakening system now. It is this icon right here, and this allows you to put a maxed out piece of gear into this menu, but this doesn't apply to all gear. It applies to armors that aren't the Twisted Guardian plate, so essentially armors that can be upgraded. It applies to accessories that are at max. It applies to elemental stones that are at max. It does not apply to totems, and it does not apply to charms. And when an item is ready to be awakened, it will say awakening available under the area where the seals are. And so right now my gloves are at Lucent. I got the enchant to level 15. I could enchant it further, but that's a little risky. So for now, they're just going to be placeholders. And once I'm stronger, once again, I'm going to go back and remake these. I don't mind the extra time or the stress of doing it, because I'd rather work harder on the back end than try to work harder on the front end to just repeatedly get disappointed with broken pieces of gear and failed enchants, because that's extremely stressful and probably one of the leading causes of people quitting the game. Just the failed RNG, the poor RNG that exists within the game. And you know, this is a common thing within Korean MMOs. So you know what I'm saying, it doesn't get to me that much, but the actual moment when something breaks, the actual moment when something fails, that does get to me. That's probably in human nature. We don't like failure. It sucks to fail at things, and so it just makes sense, right? So my perspective is to avoid that as much as possible, and the best way to avoid that would be to collect a lot of something and get a lot of resources, so that you almost guarantee yourself something in the end. You know, if you get 30 weapons and only one works or one succeeds in getting to level 20, you won't care about the 19 that broke, because you got something out of it. And as long as you get something out of it, you pretty much always win, right? And so with the awakening system, just getting beyond my mentality on my approach to stuff like this and getting off of the gear more on the awakening system. So once you put an item into it, you have the option to pick a stage. And I guess I'll cancel progress. I haven't really started anyway. No funds will be given if awakening options are reset. Okay, so I've actually already paid for it, so I can't do that. So boom, that's something good to know. So you put the item on here, and you have an option to pick the first stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage, or fifth stage. And in the fourth stage specifically, I have to kill 10,000 monsters, and I paid 200 million Ely. And that's all I had to do. And at the end, once it's this monster soul bar is filled, the stats will begin to roll. And the first line is at 100% guaranteed. The second line is 80% guaranteed. So if these two succeed, boom, I unlock the third option, the possibility to roll the third option. And that's a 30% chance to succeed. And if that goes through, then I have the option or the possibility to get a fourth line. Now, if at any point one of these lines fail, the next line will not be unlocked, right? So if I get 100%, I'm always guaranteed 2 lines, essentially. But if my second line, I'm always guaranteed 2 attempts at each line. Or is that the best way? No, the best way to phrase that is, I'm always guaranteed the first line, and I'm always guaranteed an attempt at the second line. But the second line could fail at a 20% chance. And if it fails, I will not be able to get the next 2 lines at all. Now, I do believe an item's awakening can be reset. There is a way to re-roll that or have another attempt at that. I don't know what that looks like. Maybe I can make a video on that later on. But so far, that's about as much as I know in terms of getting your lines of stats, right? And so in terms of the other fees, I remember this one being 2,500 kills, but it cost 400 million Ellie. And then this one was like 50,000 kills at 100 million Ellie. And then the numbers just get higher and higher. So I just went with the option that was the most affordable for me and most reasonable for me. It doesn't take me that long to make 200 million Ellie, and I can get 10,000 kills fairly quickly by just going to the guidebook, going to EXP dungeons, and just running through the EXP dungeons that are closer to my level. And that's why I'm actually using these EXP buffs now, so I can take advantage of this situation by getting some extra EXP while I grind out these EXP dungeons, because these dungeons do have the quickest access to large amounts of monsters at once, right? And so if I don't get to 10,000 racks 10,000 or 10k monsters by the time I'm done with these, I'll probably just go down a tier and do some other dungeons that have some other EXP dungeons that have lots of mobs. Probably avoid Sunset Forest. It's not as many, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Sky Collie also has a lot of mobs, but these dungeons, as much as the Sky Collie, the Mysterious Hall, Aurora Gardens, as much as they seem like they have a lot of monsters compared to these later dungeons, one thing that these dungeons don't have as much is that they don't, besides Sky Collie, and it's more of an illusion more than it is truth, right? A lot of the later dungeons, you kill mobs and other mobs will come out of them, or there's some way to summon a bulk of mobs, and usually that summoning of a bulk of mobs is just a lot of mobs at once, so it gets those numbers up very quickly. While in like the Sky Collie, for example, yes, you do kill mobs and more mobs come out, but the amount of mobs you start with to begin with, or that are in each room, isn't that much. But honestly, I may be shooting Sky Collie a little short, because honestly I think there are a lot of mobs in there. I'm mostly referring to those Mysterious Halls over a garden. But I mean, just considering and reconsidering all this, honestly, all the EXP dungeons definitely just have a bunch of mobs in them. So I don't have the exact facts on that, but I'm just gonna start where the best EXP's at. All right, and yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. That's what I'm doing right now. And while I'm doing this, I'll go ahead and talk about the biggest current event going on right now, which is the coins event. All right, and so just getting started with this, the coins event that is going on right now, it began on October, I want to say the October 6th, and the event page actually stated that it is running infinitely. So we don't know what that means. I'm going to take a guess and say from now until Laboon. I'm sure a lot of others are having that same guess as well, because I mean, what is infinitely, right? Like, they're just going to give us an event that has good prizes forever? That's unrealistic. But it does make sense why they wouldn't, or how it will be hard to actually estimate when they should end the event from their perspective, because the prize pool is kind of large, and the cost of the prizes is there's a large there's a big disparity between the cheapest item and the most expensive item, and just even trying to estimate it from I guess like a marketing standpoint of how many players will actually be able to get the best items is probably unreasonable. Then at the same time, you know, with just the times of LaTale, I could also understand the notion of putting in some really good events just to get players going, giving them a reason to play, giving people, you know, just hanging that carrot in front of us, right? Giving people just a taste of something good, or just something to look forward to and logging on every day. And this kind of event is definitely really good for that, right? So let me actually get into what the events consist of. And so the first part of the event is that you collect these silver coins, which are called LaTale bonus coins, and these coins drop from all dungeon monsters. Now, I don't know which level this begins at, because I generally don't go into dungeons that are lower level, but I want to make the assumption that it is actually all dungeons in the game. And no matter the biggest factor, or the biggest point with this, is that dungeons that have the most mobs will likely give you the most coins, because the more mobs means the more drops, which means the higher likelihood of you getting coins, right? The drop rate is kind of it's kind of hard to identify. It seems like it's just completely random. You just kill mobs, and sometimes you get coins, sometimes you don't. And you can get up to 100 of these coins a day, actually. And so that's pretty cool. But if you look at it from a short-term standpoint, 100 coins isn't worth much, because well, I guess it depends on the player, because if I can play the game for a week or so, or maybe 2 weeks, I can pretty much get an entire fashion costume. This is considered rare fashion content, right? Like, this is a Halloween costume or Halloween set that costs 200 coins per piece, and if I just log on every day and get 100 coins, I'll get a new piece every 2 days. So honestly, that isn't that bad if you think about it from that standpoint. But when I get into some of the later pieces of the event, you probably can understand why 100 coins a day isn't that much, or why you need to play the game a lot to get the higher tier prizes. But in terms of being a absolute casual player who just loves to dibble and dabble in LaTale and experience the different just fashions and just mess around, you think LaTale's a cute game, you play completely for fun, you have no competitive interest or no interest in trying too hard, or any interest of getting in-game stats or taking the game that far, and you just want to have a good time. I think on the front end, the prizes are definitely great, because who doesn't like to have more fashion, right? Who doesn't like to make their character look as cool as possible at all times? And so when I get back into that menu, I'll just go back into a little bit more detail, just showing those different prizes, right? So looking at these coins again, it's about 200 coins to get a piece of fashion. Going to the second page, we have more Halloween themed fashion, you know, just costume looking things. Looks pretty cool stuff. And then when we get into some higher tiers or some mid tiers, really high, low tier, yeah, let's call it that, high, low tier prizes, right? This is an item that will be good for the free-to-play player who wants to have something close to mid-game to late-game damage, right? Of the free-to-play player who enjoys the killing of monsters in LaTale, who enjoys the general gameplay loop, but doesn't want to spend any money on a totem, and doesn't have the time or patience to wait out for those free Tengu totem pieces and actually grow their totem. So you can get 500 coins, which will take 5 days. So, you know, you log in 5 days out of your work week. When you get off, you just go ahead and get 100 coins playing any dungeons. So pretty much playing the game normally, in my opinion. And I'll just get I'll go into the best way to approach this event, in my opinion, a little bit later on. But 500 coins after about a week of play, you can get you a Tengu totem. 400 coins will give you a goddess card. This honestly is a good item for any player who just doesn't want to spend money, or doesn't want to spend their farm daily on LTC, or looking for a trader, right? So 400 coins for a 15-day goddess card, that's pretty good. And you know what? Honestly, this could easily be a top tier item, a sleeper item, if you think about it. And I don't know if this is true, but if I could receive this goddess card, if I could actually receive this goddess card and it doesn't automatically activate, this could be a sleeper event item. Because if you think about it, it takes you 4 days to get the coins, but the card lasts for 15 days. That's actually a steal. And imagine if they don't automatically activate, which I doubt that's the case. I'm pretty sure they automatically activate. But if they don't automatically activate, you could just rack up on these. Like, imagine if you just spend 15 straight days farming for these cards, and you get a new card every what, 4 days. So by 15 days, that's what, let me do some basic math here. 4 times 12, 3. So you can end up with 3 of these, which is a month and a half worth. And let's say you just do 16 days, you can end up with 4 of these. So you can end up with 2 months worth of these cards by farming this event for 16 days. That's actually kind of crazy if the cards aren't automatic. But I'm pretty sure they're automatic, so I'm going to stop dreaming on that. Next, the Hero Compass, similar concept as the Goddess card. Pretty good cash item to get with 400 coins. Then we have these stockings. These stockings, I would say, are a complete waste. There are just other items in the game you can get, even as a free-to-play player, that are better than this. Like, not necessarily better, but more worth your time and effort. You know, you're spending 4 days with an event that has really good prizes. This isn't a really good prize, because you're gonna spend 4 days for these stockings for 15 days when you can just, if you don't have guild stockings, which is the best cash stocking you can get in the game, you aren't a part of a good guild ecosystem where you can farm you can farm those guild coins on a daily basis, then maybe the stockings are decent. Or, you know, if you just want that quick stat boost. But you could also just do reputation to get that stat boost. Reputation would probably be your best bet. I'm talking here, so I'm not even doing my good setup that I had going on. I was taking off the patchwork bear so that I was taking off the patchwork bear so that I can get more EXP. Yo, it's my boy. Yo. Nope. Yo. Yeah, this is my boy Survey Corpse. He is straight out of Attack on Titan. Yeah, he's the #1 representative. He was next to Eren Yeager during that last fight that we saw in the most recent season. And so yeah, and now he's here in LaTale as the #1 player. He's right here before us. He said, wow, better than my glove. Where's my Ellie? I made that for you. Flexing for the YouTube. Flexing for the YouTube. But yeah, let me let him know that I'm actually just here. I'm actually here to level up my awakening my gloves. All right. Oh wow, look at that dude. He has a great outpower. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I don't think Darkies cares. Yo, you know it's crazy. I don't know if Darkies knows this, but about 2 or 3 months ago, Darkies helped me with he helped me get these guns actually. I don't know if he knows that, but that's pretty crazy. Hey. Okay, I probably should cut this out of the video or something. I don't know. But right, back to the event. Back to the event, right? Okay, so let's power up here. My Selkie on, my Selkie's on. Back to the event. We're looking at these items. So so yeah, these stockings not worth. I'm not going to keep talking about them. They're just not worth. No one wants to hear about the stockings. Cool. Okay, here's an interesting item. I've seen a lot of people talk about it in the Discord, and the fact that it only costs 300 silver coins, that's actually a steal. Yo, I think I'm about to buy this right now. What, I got 600 coins? 15 days for plus 5% basic stats. That's definitely a steal. So it's the Spirit of the Seas pet. It's an event pet. I'm guessing there's no other way to get this pet, but I can get plus 5% basic stats. And for some people, you know, probably for a lot of people actually, that isn't that much, but someone at the point where I'm at in the game, 5% basic stats, that's going to give me like 10 to 20k strength maybe. I don't know, I'm not good at math. But yeah, this is a good point, a good item to get. Whether you're a early gamer, mid gamer, late gamer, I would recommend getting these. I'm not going to get it now because I'm actually just going to save all of my coins for the items that I actually want to get first. And after I get those, then I may just start dibble and dabble, throwing them into things like like that pet, right? But for now, I'm not going to get that. But I would recommend any player who doesn't have the patience to save up the coins long term and just wants to get that stat boost for 15 days, this is a good item because it is a pet. You know, it's not taking up any slot. It's only adding to, you're only gaining for 15 whole days. And the best part, by the time, wow, my summon's going already. By the time you actually get this pet, by the time this pet expires, holy, I can't even focus on one thing. By the time this pet expires, right, you'll be able to get 5 more of these pets technically. So why not? You know, that's actually a steal. I probably should get this pet. Yo, 60. How do I only have 600 coins? It's been like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's only been 6 days. Okay, yeah. Wow. This pet is actually a steal. How did I not notice this before? Thank God I do these videos. I probably should get this pet if I really want that stat boost, but I'm not itching like that. And another thing about it too, I guess one thing to really consider with stat boosts like this is like, do you really need it, right? So like right now, I can clear every dungeon in the game. Every dungeon that's in LaTale, I can clear on easy with 0 effort. I could close my eyes. And you know, I'll die here and there just because if I mob too many monsters at once. But other than that, nah, I'm good. I can solo everything, right? And so this pet, having this for 15 days isn't going to benefit me that much. Like it may speed up my runs very slightly, but it's not really worth it considering my next the power spike that I need to get to the next set of content would be a power spike that gets me to normal dungeons, right? And so since I know 15% basic stats isn't going to get me into normal dungeons, or at least the normal dungeons I want to run right now, like DTR, maybe. Actually, yo, what if I got this pet? What if I got this pet for 15 days, right? And like this pet made it easier to run DTR on normal. And that made like a month's difference in upgrading my DTR accessories. That's crazy. I probably need to do some like off-screen math on that. But just consider those concepts. Consider how that may apply to your own account, and just think about that value, right? And maybe this pet is actually a good purchase for you, right? So taking a look at the after image. 15-day +6 after image. After images give stats. So this is the fashion item. I don't want to talk about fashion items too much, but it is a fashion item. It does give stats at +9. These are the stats: speed, HP, basic stats, and static. But in terms of being +6, I mean, if you're one of those players who really never plans on spending money and doesn't want to save up to just buy money from real other players who always have it, because by the way, there are enough whales on this game to always farm up Ely and just buy things out the cash shop from whales. If you're not one of those players, or if you are one of those players, then maybe this could be a good item, but I just wouldn't recommend it. Even though it only takes 3 days, I just wouldn't recommend it. It's not worth it. The stat boost isn't that crazy. It just looks cool. So I guess if you're really into vanity, sure, but it's not. It's 300 coins. That's taking out 100. That's taking away an item and a half for you if you want a permanent vanity item, opposed to a temporary vanity item, because honestly the stats won't affect you enough for it to be more than a vanity item, right? Next up, 50 coins, so half a day's coins for a combat potion that gives 30 crit, 30 max, and 100 crit weight for 30 minutes. Nope. So this, I'm gonna say this isn't worth it. This isn't worth it because, first of all, no one plays this game for 30 minutes to an hour a day. It's even the most casual players are going to be on here for a good hour or two. And so I guess if you just want to spend your entire time on here with that stat boost, sure, I guess that'll help you. It's not really worth it though. I'm not going to talk too much about that. It's just not worth it. It's 50 coins. It's cheap, but it's not worth it. If anything, this one could be significantly more worth it, because if you're Ely farming, at least you get a +50 gain. Oh, it's great. I can still see the stats, but at least you get a +50 Ely gain for 30 minutes, and that could be, that could really boost you, because getting Ely, the faster you get Ely, the faster you get stats, right? That should be, somebody put that in quotes. That should be just a slogan. The faster you get Ely, the faster you get stats, and that's just facts, straight undeniable facts. That dude look cool as hell. So I wouldn't recommend the potions like that, but if you really want to get a potion, if you really don't want to save for anything, you're just that impatient and you need that rush, that fix, you need that you need to hit that itch, go ahead, get the Ely boosting potion. It also boosts item drop rate as well, so that can help in Ely dungeons. But other than that, the XP gain rate's not worth it, and the basic stats are not worth it. Boom. So now we're getting into the bulk, the cream of the crop, the best part of this event, which is the LaTale special bonus coins. Now, I currently have 48 special bonus coins. I don't know if that means I missed 2 on the first day, which I probably did, or I missed 2 somewhere down the line, or, you know, just I don't know if I've gotten the cap on each day. I actually do not focus on this event. To the extent to which I play this game, I'm capable of just capping out on most events by default by just playing the game the way I intended on playing regardless, because I was going to play regardless. So I don't pay that much attention. But this golden coin, the LaTale special bonus coin, is actually a 10 coin a day event item. So you can only get 10 of these a day, and I really don't want to say that they drop from the normal monsters and dungeons. I really want to say they only drop from bosses. I really do. I've noticed them the most when I'm running elite dungeons such as Bollywood, Big Tube, because it's the fastest. It's like one of the fastest dungeons that exists in terms of getting to the. Oh my God! Why did I just press that? 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 Big Tube is the one of the fastest dungeons in terms of getting to the boss, right? And so I've noticed most consistently that running Big Tube, it gets me to running Big Tube gets me to the boss the fastest, and I'm able to get those golden coins a lot faster. I can't get in here, can I? I've used all my runs for the day. Disgusting. I'm disgusted with myself. That was disgusting. Shame on me. All right, Euphony of Corals, EOC. Looks like Darky is a awakening item or something too. What is he even doing around here? That dude's like his ascension level is super high. But let's go to Leviathan and EUC. So yeah, the golden coins. Gotta stay on topic here. The golden coins, you can only get 10 of them a day. And this is the prize pool. But before we get to the prize pool, back to the silver coins. With the silver coins, let's look at these ratios. You can buy 1 golden coin, you can buy 10 golden coins, or you can buy 50 golden coins. There are no deals here. These ratios are exact. There's no change or benefit in buying one or the other. It's just for the sake of convenience, you know, for the player who wants to just buy them in absolute bulk, the player who may only need 10 more, or the player who only needs 1. It makes sense why these are here, but the ratio is still 7 silver coins to 1 golden coin. All my EXP buffs are expiring. I'm sitting here wasting them. Let's start them all over so I can waste them again. All right. So yeah, that's the ratio. So essentially with 100 silver coins a day, you can get 10 additional golden coins with this second pack, and you can get, what's that, 77, so about 7, 14, 21, 28, so 4. So you can get 14 golden coins a day essentially. And probably around that 5th day, you'll have enough additional silver coins to get 15 golden coins for that 5th day, because they'll roll over. So 14 to 15 golden coins a day from the silver, and then you get 10 golden coins a day from killing dungeon bosses. I want to put a stamp on that. I want to say that's facts. It's dungeon bosses that drop them, because if it were dungeon monsters, as many monsters as I kill a day, considering I always max out on my silver coins, I feel as though I'd have way more golden coins by now. So it definitely must be the dungeon bosses. Now, let's look at the prize pool. All right, let's go to the bottom. The bottom of the pool, the cheapest items we can get is 12 moon glyphs for 150 coins, right? And I can't pull up a calculator right now or pull up a chart to really map that all out. But if we can get 14 to 15 coins, 14 to 15 golden coins a day, from the silver coins and we get 10 coins naturally, then that's about 24 to 25 golden coins a day. So that should be roughly, I want to say, you can get your first prize out of this event on the 6th day. On the 6th day, that's about right, because 6 times 25, but that's I feel like that's why I need that chart, because it's more so 6 times 24, since that's the most consistent number, with the 25 being the outlier. And so probably 7 days. Yeah, it takes a week to get 150 coins. 1 week will essentially guarantee you. How about that? 1 week will guarantee you more than 150 coins, so about 150 coins. So after your first week of doing this event, you can get 12 moon glyphs. Now, benefit of moon glyphs is they do give you stats for 30 days. If you plan on actually playing the game consistently or being an active player in the game, this could be beneficial if you don't like to spend, or you don't plan on spending, and you also would like to save up your Ely for things that are a little bit more important and more permanent than saving up your Ely and buying time things. Even though the time things will last you 30 days, it could be a little difficult in making this purchase. So I can understand why a little over average casual, or even a casual player may want to buy these moon glyphs. I personally won't be buying the moon glyphs from this. I'll just get them from other sources. But I can understand why this could be a decent purchase for you. But just know that in buying that, you will be set back an entire 7 days, based off of our math we did earlier, on being able to get other prizes. So let's look at some more prizes here. 3 immortal plants for 15 days. Now, the funny thing about immortal plants, I'll say, is that, you know, as I've quit this game and come back over the years since 2017 over and over again, one of the most discouraging parts about this game, in terms of me not being inspired of playing, or not having interest in playing, is that the immortal plants and just having to revive my pets, it just felt like such a daunting task. But it only feels that way when you really don't want to play the game. So that's what that comes down to. It's like, I want to play the game. I want to play LaTale. I want to be on LaTale. I want to have my nostalgic LaTale experience, and I want my quick LaTale fix. But I want it to be complete. You know, I want it to be with all the stats I can possibly get. I want to have the absolute rush. But simultaneously, I don't want to get all my plants, or I don't want to farm for plants, or go through the process of doing that. Why does LaTale make me buy? Why do I have to keep reviving my time pets? And you know, that's a reasonable argument. That's a reasonable complaint. But I will say, as a player who plays actively, if you're actively playing the game, immortal plants are not a problem. I could make a video about this later, but there are just so many ways, and I have a couple in my inventory, some just lingering around in random spots, but I always have like 2 to 3 times as many immortal plants on my account than the pets I have, and somehow, some way, they just keep refreshing over the course of time as I'm playing. I've been playing actively since late June of 2021. Probably the longest run I've ever had on this game, and during that time I've had no problem reviving my pets. In fact, it's kind of a joke. Like, reviving pets in LaTale in 2021 is absolutely easy. It's completely effortless. So if you're really playing the game, it's not likely that someone who isn't really playing the game is going to get this price tier anyway. So if you're really playing the game, I probably wouldn't recommend getting these immortal plants, because you could definitely make alternate characters. I know that's definitely one of the ways to get free immortal plants, and you can just get 3 free immortal plants for 15 days, maybe even 30 days, significantly faster and with ease, right? So definitely, this isn't worth it. I go moon glyphs if I'm spending 150, because at least the moon glyphs will give me 3 sets of stats, and I can get some important stats like dual crit, basic stats, and maybe max or cooldown for 30 days. That's way more worth than 15-day extensions on my pets, which I can definitely get for free, significantly easier. All right, random headgear box. This one's easy to skip. Once again, if you're a vanity player, you're probably going for the lower tier silver coin prizes anyway. So after you get that, I mean, I guess this is a good price for the vanity players. or just for the player, I guess, who doesn't feel like farming beyond this point. It's like I'll go ahead and take my random headgear. But this prize pool, to give an example, is likely going to give you something like what I have on here, my penguin hat. It's considered a rare piece of gear or a rare piece of fashion, and things like the penguin hat, the beetle. Let's see, the beetle hat, the beetle G helmet. It'll give you things like that. Maybe even a festival hat. I doubt it, just because the festival hat seems to be about the 10th anniversary, and so just it may give you a random hat that isn't common. So this could be kind of cool. You want to get a rare piece of gear. It's 46 of them too. There's probably some I forgot exist or I didn't even know exist. So maybe that could really be a good vanity item. I wouldn't get it though. And so expert eye surgery coupon. I think this is about without saying. Do not spend a week and a half or a week and a couple days farming this event or playing casually, so it could take you 2 weeks to a month to get 200 coins. Do not spend that time and buy an expert eye surgery or an expert hairstyle. Don't. This doesn't need explaining. It's not worth it. In this amount of time, you could buy 20 of these by just farming some E-League. Whether you have high E-League gain rate or not, it's nothing. Do not do that. Don't. I understand the concept of vanity, and you know, I understand the concept of having rare items and being able to have relics and keeping things in the game, or having things other people don't have. But something as easily accessible as expert hairstyle and eye surgery is not worth 200 coins. This needs to be in the silver pack. Like, what are they doing? All right. Next is the random LE skill book box. So for 200 coins, that's a little bit over a week, probably around, like, what's that, 7 to 9 days, depending on the player, if active. For 200 coins, I think it really depends on the player. This is a really dependent on the player type situation. I personally wouldn't. There are other opportunities to get that box. There are just other events where you aren't penalized, right? And what I mean by that is, every time you spend on this event, you're essentially penalized by not being able to get another item, right? So, you know, taking your chances at a Speed Master, Pierce Master, Fighting skill book, Almighty skill book, these are LE skills that you interact with in this menu. Taking a chance at these skills, and you know, they have very small gains, which can be considered big gains, or they're more important in the later game or in game. It's not necessarily worth it because it's a gamble. If we were able to choose, definitely. Oh my god. If we could choose the book out of this item, if we could choose the book out of the random LE skill book box, oh my god, dude. That's a steal, bro. That's a finesse. Whew. People sell some of these books for 1 billion to 2 billion ELI in the market. And you're telling me I could spend, like, granted, you could also farm up that amount of money within like 3 to 5 days, depending if you're just an average player, and obviously if you're a later game player with a lot more ELI, you can farm that up in a day or two. But I mean, just the concept of playing the game regularly, being rewarded with golden coins, and being able to buy these boxes and being able to choose, oh my god, what a steal. But let me not waste too much time talking about hypotheticals, right? Another good item is the Powder of Blessing. Now this is really good if you're very close to maxing out a key, or you just want to upgrade your key and your key is expensive like mine is currently. So right now I need 200 Powder of Blessing to upgrade my key, but there's a Powder of Blessing in the attendance event coming up, 100, and considering the current Powder of Blessing event is still going on, I'll have that 200 within 2 days. So I'm not necessarily pressed for something like this, but I can see how this could be a good item, especially since it takes about a week and a couple days to actually get that 100. So that's pretty decent. That's pretty decent. Now, the LaTale Special Royal Box. Someone dropped the loot table for this in the Discord, the LaTale Discord, and it wasn't very good. So I would not recommend this gamble box. One, because gamble boxes, even though I have a video where I'm opening too many gamble boxes to be opening for the fun of it, you know, it's all fun and games for me when it comes to gambling, because you know, you put so much energy into it, you just come out in tears and regret and disappointment and hate. You come out with hatred. You just want to quit the game. But nah, spending 2 weeks. This is about 2 weeks. A little less than 2 weeks, maybe, if you're playing actively, on getting these 5 gamble boxes. Not worth it for the prize pool, especially because it's just gamble boxes, man. There's just better things to get in here that are more guaranteed, even though they're kind of gambles as well. We're gonna get to that, right? Random animal headgear box. Okay, so this is discouraging. So earlier I brought up the random headgear box, which consists of 46 headgears for 150 golden coins. But this time I'm bringing up the random animal headgear box, which also says 46, which leads me to assume that the animal headgears like the penguin and the Beetlejuice actually aren't in this box. So what the hell is in this box? I don't know. Definitely, I don't think I recommended it to begin with. Now I'm definitely not recommending it. But this random headgear box, this random animal headgear box, will guarantee you an animal headgear similar to the penguin and the Beetlejuice, and probably a lot others. I didn't know there were 46 different kinds. I wish, man, if we can get like 50 gold coins a day, I'd probably open up this dumb box. But nah, I wouldn't recommend this. There are events like the event that I got my current headgear out of, which is my penguin set. It was just like, play the game, just log in for 30 minutes, you know, and for a couple of days they just gave me a random animal set. So nah, it's not worth it. Definitely wouldn't spend my money there. Even if you are a collector of sorts, you gotta really only be playing this game to collect gear. Honestly, that's the way I see it, because why else would you get that? Next up, special pet box. So we're getting into the highest tier. We're kind of already in the highest tier, but this shouldn't be here, so I'm not going to consider it that way. But we're in the highest tier of the gold coins, right? And based off of our ratios from earlier, you get about 150 coins within 7 days of actively playing. If you're actually transferring the silver coins into gold coins. So 350 coins should take you about a little bit over a week, if not. And I could do the actual calculations later, but it's 24 to 25 coins a day, and this is 350. So this can easily take you, we're going to say easily 2 weeks by default, but it could easily take you more than 2 weeks if you aren't playing consistently and actively. So this is big time here, right? And if this event only lasted a month, this could easily end up being your prize. You know, if this event said it was ending in November, early November, this could be what you're going for, depending on who you are as a player, because you know, not everyone plays the game every day and wants to give their life to LaTale, you know. So this could easily be your top tier prize. This could be what you're aiming for, and that's reasonable. Now, from what the GM has said about the higher tier pet box, which we haven't gotten into yet, is that you can get up to Great Michael in it. And so if that's the case, I'm going to take a guess and say that the special pet box is going to be a lot lower than Great Michael tier. Even if we open up the different pet breakdown, there's no real way to tell what pets are before Great Michael. You'd have to just know that as a player or do some research on it. But if it's 60 pets, I'm going to assume, and it's the first box, I'm going to assume there are a lot of the fashion shop pets in here, right? If not, every fashion shop pet is in here. So I'll be wary of that. I'd play safe with that. I personally will not be opening this box, but once again, I play every day. I'm going to get enough coins to be able to get the higher tiers, but I would not recommend this box. It is too risky for its prize pool, especially just considering all the other benefits you can get. Because imagine, you know, you wait 2 to 3 weeks and you're only playing this game to save up for this box. Really imagine that concept, and you waited all that time and you get this, open this box, and it's a dino. You know, it's the green or the pink dinosaur in the fashion shop. And you know, no shade to the dinosaur, the pink and green dinosaur, but that's like the first pet ever in LaTale history. Like, that pet's going to have no impact on your gameplay, not in the slightest. So that'd be extremely discouraging and disappointing, and I'm sure you'd quit the game. I'd quit the game. Next up, the Fragment of Blessing. So we talked a little bit about the keys earlier, and we saw that you can actually transfer these key fragments into what was that? Was that the upgrade feature? What feature did I press where it popped up? I swear there was something I pressed. I think it was Powder of Blessing. Yo, I pressed something. Oh, I clicked it. There it is. So the Fragment of Blessing. So if you collect 200 Powders of Blessings, which you can only get 30 of a day, you can exchange it for a Fragment of Blessing, right? And I'm going to do some quick math here. 200 divided by 30. That is 6.6 days. So about a week of collecting Powder of Blessings, you should be able to get a Fragment of Blessing. And so in this event, you can also get a Fragment of Blessing, which is used to strengthen the S grade Gaia keys. We don't really know which keys are which grade because they don't tell us. And on the Korean version of the game, you can actually see the letter next to the keys. But I'm going to make a prediction here based off the fact of there's the Stone of Blessing, which increases the R rate, the R grade keys, which is definitely the last tier. That the special grades is going to be the mythics, and that's just a little discouraging because that's just a little discouraging. Hopefully what they mean is that you use this to evolve the, oh no, that does make sense. That's right. Every level of the special grade keys is 200 Powder of Blessing. So you use a Fragment of Blessing to upgrade the special grade keys every level, which is the equivalent of 200 Powders of Blessing. So that's pretty expensive, right? And so if you're really in need of that upgrade, I guess this could definitely speed up your process. It'll take about 2.5 weeks or 2 weeks and a couple of days, depending on the player. And you'll be able to get that Fragment of Blessing. I can see how that could be valuable for a player who isn't looking to gamble, who's looking for something more concrete. So in terms of the top tier prizes, this is a very solid top tier prize. I would say it's a very solid top tier prize. Yeah, it'll speed up your key upgrading process, especially if we fall out of this powder event, right? Where we're not getting powders every day. Your key upgrading process will likely slow down. So this Fragment of Blessing would definitely be very beneficial for you in that sense. And so I think that's pretty good. I think this would be worth getting if my key was already upgraded beyond +10 to the next tier, and if that key was already above the stat threshold, or already had enough materials to go beyond the stat threshold of where my key is at now. The next prize is the Gaia Shining Key Fragment. Now this one definitely is not worth it. I'll say that outright, because you use 3 of these to roll a higher tier key. And like, it's just not worth it. You know, comparatively, you spend 2 weeks to 2 weeks and a half to get a Fragment of Blessing, which you can use for a guaranteed upgrade on one of your keys. Or you can choose to get 1 of 3 needed fragments to roll at a chance to get a key. That's definitely not worth it. Would not recommend. I don't think I need to explain anymore why that isn't recommended. And then looking at the 2 highest tier prizes, right? So this is where the price jumps, right? This really comes down to where you are in the game. Most people who are probably even interested in this information are players who just aren't aware of it. And so more than likely, you're not going to be going for a Stone of Blessing. Stone of Blessing is absolute in-game, I don't really want to say in-game, but end event key content, right? And there's not really any way you'd be using this unless you've been playing the game for about a year consistently anyway, because that's pretty much the only way you'd be able to get your key to that point, unless somehow within the last couple of months or so, you just got lucky with a R grade key, which has like a 0.0 something chance of getting out of the rolls, whether you're rolling through the key fragments or you're rolling through the broken key system. And so I just this is something that clearly is worth it, because it's almost impossible to get these stones of blessings, considering you have to use 3 fragments of blessing just to make 1 stone of blessing. So, and what's funny about that is that if you buy 3 of these, you spent 150, which is a week's worth more extra. So let's run that back. If you buy 3 of these to combine into 1 of these, you wasted a week's worth of golden coins. Yes, because this costs 350 per, and this is 900, which is only 300 times 3. Simple math. All right. So the best option, and what I'm going to be going for, and many are going to be going for, is actually the special pet box 2, right? And this is worth 600. So based on the math that we had earlier, and I probably would have been better off just doing all this before I decided to record today, but who cares? It's going to take about a month. It's going to take about a month of consistent gameplay, consistent farming, essentially, to get a roll at this special pet box. And honestly, I think this is the main reason. Honestly, I believe this pet box alone is why this event can't have an end date, because there would be so many dissatisfied players if this event had an end date. And by dissatisfied, I mean amongst those who actually actively play the game on a daily basis. They will be extremely dissatisfied, because some of them will, more than likely, a lot of players who open this box, and I can easily be included in that. Am I out of runs for this dungeon? More than likely, we'll definitely not get a good pet. It just is what it is. You know, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Like, whether we get pets that are not the best in slot. You know, if I already own Timmy and I roll a Monsieur Pier, I cannot pronounce that. Monsieur Pirat. I gotta look that up. I have to look that up. What? Monsieur Pirat.
Mr. Piero.
Mr. Piero? This is French. This is French, and it's pronounced Mr.
Piero. Mr. Piero.
Mr. Piero? What if I keep the translation from English to English? It automatically detected it as being French.
Monsieur Pierrot.
Oh, wow.
Monsieur Pierrot.
What does that mean? Does that mean something? That's French. Mr. Piero. Wow. I thought it was Monsieur. All right. So, to my example, Monsieur Piero would be worse than getting a Timmy, but I guess this isn't the best example, because Mr. Piero is actually a good pet because he has a unique. And you see, this is where a lot of games go wrong, right? You have an opportunity to do something like this within the game, and you don't take advantage of it across the board. Because imagine if every pet had a unique that made them valuable when they were replaced by a better in-slot pet. Like this, Mr. Piero has an HP recovery plus 21% skill, which I use regularly. I rely on it, and it makes the use of HP pots go down significantly. Like it's essentially a free HP pot, and it benefits me greatly, right? Imagine if everything had that, but that's another topic for another day. To get back on topic and just wrap things up with this event, the special pet box 2 is the best item to get. It's going to take about a month of farming. It's what I'm going for. If I get a bad pet out of it, I'm probably not going for it again. That's a lie. I'll probably be rolling this 2 to 3 times if this pet lasts until the Laboom update. If this event lasts until the Laboom update, I'm definitely going to be rolling for this a couple times. Because I mean, even though the odds may or may not be in my favor considering how many pets I do have. I think I'll get something. And I just don't value the other prizes that much. I don't necessarily need the powders or blessings right now. I know that I won't be able to get my key once it evolves. I won't be able to get the stats higher than where they currently are for until like a couple months of play regardless. So these powders aren't really that efficient considering I only get 100 every like 8 days essentially. If I'm playing completely actively and actually farming the event out completely, that is. So what, getting maybe 300 to 400 powders a month to upgrade my key, it is not the most enticing information. I'd rather just take advantage of powder events and stack up powders for months until I can finally make that upgrade. And honestly, after I'm done upgrading my key to plus 10, before this event even ends, I'll probably be able to get another 200 powders. I probably need a good 1,000 powders or maybe 1,200 powders to even get my key beyond where it is currently in stats since it resets, which definitely sucks. Like, why would you make a system where like imagine if my Sky Eve badge became weaker when it evolved into a Minerva's badge. Like, that would be extremely discouraging. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they understand that concept. So why have an event like this where the key can evolve from second mythic Gaia key to a second ethereal Gaia key and it becomes weaker than a second immortal Gaia key? Oh my god, I'm on the wrong topic. Immortal Gaia key to mythic, same concept. Why put the key in that position to evolve and become weaker when at probably +6 or +7, this key is already stronger than its evolutionary form that costs 200 powder to upgrade every attempt? Like, why do that? Like, what is the purpose behind that? Why do you want to torture the players in that way, right? So yeah, the best prize is, just to get back to the point, the best prize is going to be the special pet box. It's the special pet box. And honestly, I'd put Moonglyphs at Moonglyphs is fighting for top 3 prizes. Depending on where your key is, Fragment of Blessing is definitely fighting for top three prizes. Stone of Blessing is like if special pet box is #1 prize, Stone of Blessing is like 0.5. It's like the 0.5 prize, like the bonus prize, depending on, it just depends on the player. But most players, 99% of players will not benefit from this prize. So I'm going to use what is most general and applies to the most players, which is probably the special pet box, right? And looking back at the silvers, I think that's the train in the background. Looking back at the silvers, I think this temporary pet is pretty good. If you want to look at the event from an absolute temporary standpoint, how can I gain from this event continuously, right? Boom, I'm going to go for this pet for 15 days. I'm going to go for a Hero's Compass for 15 days. I'm going to go for a Goddess card for 15 days. And if I'm a free-to-play player and I'm nowhere near level 70 Tengu's totem, I'm going to go for a Tengu totem for 15 days. That makes sense, right? Those are bonuses and buffs I could use to my advantage. And then just to get to like that lowest tier, probably this Helper Potion, just for the, I don't care about this event. I just want to get quick gains every single day. And long-term, this event means nothing to me. But, you know, it comes down to the player. But that's my wrap up on this event, and that's my wrap up on this video. We were all over the place a little bit here. Hopefully I got to cover a couple good points, a couple of things that were interesting for whoever's watching. Thank you for watching, by the way. I appreciate you. If you made it here this long, that'd be crazy and amazing. So if that's the case, definitely leave me a like, leave me a comment, maybe with some direction. You know, just let me know what you like to see LaTale wise, what kind of content you're looking for in LaTale. What do you think LaTale needs? What are some things I could talk about? You know, I could talk forever once I get started. And yeah, give me some opinions. I appreciate it all. Correct me if I'm wrong on anything. Definitely, I'm sure I am. Once again, I've been playing LaTale since 2000. What is that? 2008. And yeah, I've been playing LaTale since 2008. In the fall, around this time actually. This is around the time when I learned about LaTale. All that time ago. I've never played LaTale for longer than like a month at a time. I've always been distracted by other games. I've had conflicting interests for years, but this is the first time, and since I've started playing LaTale, that I've played for longer than a month, and I've been playing 3 months consistently since then. I've had numerous amounts of growth just from my character growth, getting this far. I've never been this far in the game, or I've never been this far respectively to where the game is in terms of its end game. I made a guild. We're at level 20. We'll be level 21 soon, probably by the next video. That would be pretty great. That would be cool. And you know, things are looking up for LaTale. I believe so. I believe LaBoom's going to be a big impactor on LaTale. I believe LaBoom's going to have a lot of positive effects on LaTale. You know, this is all speculation, but I think once LaBoom hits, we'll never look back. And that's a good thing for the game. It really is. So let's cherish these moments we have with LaTale. Let's appreciate LaTale for what it is, and let's just work to make LaTale better. All right, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. I appreciate you, and your boy is out.